Alrighty, we are live. It is Thursday, November 19th, 2020. The penultimate day of our full trading week here. I'm going to be looking at SPY today, maybe a bit at Hanes Brands, and then I'm going to run through the scanner here and try to find some other stocks to look at today. I'm looking at Hanes because of the 1 hour MACD here. Sorry, the 1 day. Let's see if it's going to load here for me. My computer's been slowing down there. We have the MACD coming close to crossing here after a beatdown on earnings. So I waited for a candle to open above the 9-period SMA here, and then we're going to see if we can get any type of run out of this. I entered my position on them yesterday. And then, let's see, what's another one we could look at? Perhaps Slack. I was looking at Slack for a potential bullish credit spread where I was going to sell a spread through this level, and it looks like they've held above it, although I did miss it. I was not there. I had left my computer when that happened. So, let's see here. Okay, done reading that. So, I'm in Hanes Brands. I am down on the trade so far. If I was just swinging it over the course of the morning, a day trade, I entered right here. I could have exited when they broke below this level here and just called it a day. That would have been 71, which was about 7 cents above my entry point there. But I do feel we can get a little bit more if we just hold it for a couple of weeks. I'm trying a lot more passive trades here to begin swing trading stocks, as I'm actually more experienced with credit spreads right now. So I'm trying to incorporate some spreads, some day trading here and swing trading into my portfolio. Looking at SPY, I'm very, very nervous that we're going to get a breakout here before the weekend. I'm probably going to have to pile up on some debit spreads here to the downside for a couple of weeks out. Maybe 2 or 3 weeks. I'm thinking 3, just 3 Fridays from now, and call it good and just get some debit spreads on it. Because I really do think that when we break this level, we might get a big fail to the downside. It might take a couple days. We had, say for instance here, we had a channel line. We were staying below here, and we gapped up above it. I think this might have been over a weekend. I don't believe it was. This might have been like a Thursday or a Friday, whatever it was. We got a gap above, and while that would have made you money, it kind of stayed here until the 9-period SMA caught up, and then we had a week-long run up there. So there's a couple of things I'll be watching there. Let's just graph out our other line and kind of show what I saw from this first pattern. If it's big and obvious enough other people will be following it. Something like that. Alrighty, that was not super important because it happened already, but you can see what made me want to trade it. You had the chart breakout, low RSI, and MACD lines crossing below the 0 line. Over here, you had it crossing above, so this could have been your validation point. You could have just chosen to call it good here if you got a bounce here or if you got enough money out of those options. Then you had this cross here, which was not as low as I would have liked it to be. But then you have this. This is one of the best patterns I've seen in SPY since I've started trading back in the spring. You have this beautiful wedge pattern way up here at all-time highs. the stock has dropped down on no news, met the 9-period SMA, and you have your very high RSI, your very high MACD. The lines look like they could cross here pretty soon in the next few days, and that's when you get in. And I'm very, very bearish on them right now. I think we're way too high. I do think we could eventually have a correction of some type if we see a if we saw a big drop big enough to get us down to the 323 level. I think that's too low. We're really valued around 340 right now. We've been valued around 340, so it's just oscillating around that level. I'll say they're actually supposed to be at this level. Actually, let's do a trend line. Something like that. And then we're going to mirror this. We'll duplicate the drawing. Bring one down here. The support and resistance line up pretty well here. So I'm going to keep it there. We're going to edit the properties of that line. We're going to make it blue just so we can. Let's see here. And then we're going to duplicate that drawing again. Make a middle line here. That's just about the middle. And then we'll edit those properties. Make it, I don't know, let's try yellow. Just so we have a good variance in colors here. So if we get a breakdown, I'd be watching this level here, the 344 level, potentially as an out where we could get a drop all the way down to there immediately. And yeah, then you have, because we kind of used that as a resistance level here with when we had a head and shoulders pattern, upside down, shoulder, head, shoulder, and then you kind of broke up to the upside there. So that would have been a good out, I think. We're trending to the upside right now. I'm going to take a picture of this here. Let's add a post. Alrighty. SPY looking to be a good short over the next couple of weeks. MACD coming around, RSI high. Watching for a what price level am I watching for a break? What's a level we haven't broken down below in a while that we could highlight here? $354. 354 might be our. Alrighty. Buy looking to be good short over the next couple of weeks. MACD coming around, RSI high and falling. We also find ourselves in the middle of a wedge pattern, watching for a 354 break to the downside. Alrighty. We got that going for us. I'm going to plug my phone back in, but the software update thing's probably going to pop up on my computer. There we go. Long term's doing all right. The condors are passive enough that we're not really moving much on this stuff, but I might have to exit the put side if I want to make some money on this fall down, because I'm very confident we're going to see something here. We could see the MACD get a day or two to actually return up to this level if we get something like a rebound, but I'm trying to see where could we move it where that might be it right there, because we're finally getting a break below the 180 MA, which you could also follow here. That might be your break. So 354 could be the place to short. I am going to wait another day or so, or at least a few hours after open, to see if we can get something here. This will be very, very fun. Perhaps we'll enter our first debit spread of the stream. Let's see what we have here. Any new news? Futures slip lowers, way ahead of the open Wall Street. Jobless claims, other economic data. European markets slower, cases continue to spike. Yeah, people are going to start noticing that because they're, like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of like they're alone with their thoughts right now. And they're thinking, is it actually right now? Are we actually at the right evaluation that we want? Don't know. Wow, I sold some $12 calls on a Smile Direct Condor and I closed out for a profit. But now those calls have come back to life here at 11.75. Those would have been worth something. If I found a way to sell, if I found a way to buy my 12 call back and just be holding the naked 13, I could have made some money on that move, but I was there for earnings. Alrighty, I don't think we'll look at them. They're moving, good for them, but I just played their earnings, Condor. I really do like Slack. I think the play for them might be over, though, now that you had this drop off and now the move up. We open here in about 17 minutes. We can run through a scanner here. Anything on the 9 SMA trifecta? Doesn't look like it. 9 SMA 5-minute confirmation. Nope. 1 day 9 SMA confirmation. This is just a chart that shows any stock that opened the previous day above the 180 MA on the 1 day for the first time in a while. This one, of course, that's going to be above. CSIQ. And you can see that they did open above, but they also closed below. So perhaps we need to look at they also close above. JMIA. We saw them a few times here. Not sure why they're going up, but those aren't the types of stocks that I trade. ORA. I sometimes like to watch stocks through their all-time highs. That can sometimes be a good play. Yeah, other than this wick down, we haven't been under 354 in a while. ORA isn't loading for us. Smile Direct Club and Square. For sale on balance across all sectors at the moment. Volumes revert to a lighter shade. Financials. Fintech lead sell side. Big Pharma bucking the sell side trend along with earnings. Related names, i.e. LB, Nuan, Mu. Okay. See, here would be Square. I wonder about Square. They have been trending up in a straight line since the crash here. I wonder if we'll see another challenge to the all-time highs. Let's just go to long-term portfolio and have a look at some of our stocks, how they might open. AbbVie gone down from 80 or so up to 98 after earnings there. Nice earnings for them. American Express up after earnings. Bank of America. Cummins trending up. COP, Dominion Energy dropped $3 the other day. Discovery Financial kind of heading up. Got some dividends there. I wonder if I should just start to average back into this long-term portfolio on my long-term and just average into the stocks that are like low on the MACD and stuff, like IBM right now. What I could do is watch all of these stocks. A lot of them look like they're trying to turn around. You're going to see a lot of these reverse at the same time. Microsoft failed a key level. I think they're down. Probably won't play Microsoft though, not with weeklies. Snapchat, here's a level they've been holding since the earnings call. Yeah, right about there you could say is support, 37.25. That would be a level to the downside you could play on a level break there. Stag Industrial, they're headed down as well. See something like Stag, you could look into picking up here. AT&T, still trending down more. I think AT&T is like a dividend trap. I'm thinking about taking them off of here because while they have a great dividend, they pay 52 cents per share. Look at the sell-off they have after these dividends. People are like, yeah, we know that this stock over the last 5 years is not that profitable, really. It's been trending down. Union Pacific has had a great run up after earnings. They did have a sell-off, dropped down to about the 173 level, and then bounced off, run up about $20. Valero Energy Corporation, they might be breaking above their 180 MA for the first time in a while. American Steel, ExxonMobil, and that is it. I got a lot of lines here on Apple. I'm just going to clear that. Seeing a potential pattern in Apple. Go from this low. Apple might be a short as well. They have a similar pattern that I'm seeing in SPY. 122 is your top. Then you have this wedge starting at about 107. Let me see. I'm going to send a text to one of my friends about Apple. See if he wants to average out. Maybe a small portion. if you're doing okay. We'll see how our little mini's going today. My mini is the one where I'm kind of doing the riskiest stuff. While it's not risky at all, it's the least passive, I guess. And that little pattern is just to the downside. You had your upside break. If you counted this channel here, this support bounced off of that. Came up to here and we've kind of been stagnating. So a put credit spread would have been a good play here, as it would have been bullish, but also would have won if you were neutral. But we are getting closer and closer to the 180 MA here. That could be something to look at. But right now, we're just going to look at, let's see, I'm going to go back to Haynes Brands, have them up here. We can watch them on the 5-minute, perhaps, see if they're going to open higher or what. And then Slack, I want to see where Slack opens. We have about 10 minutes here. All we did yesterday were some SPY options, just some iron condors that we exited out of. We still have some. I'll probably try to get out of those today, at least the put side, because I am now with this wedge breakout bearish on SPY. So I'd like to have at least, I can maybe bring some calls down to the 360 level, 362, sell those. While that is only $5 away, I do not think we're going to trend that way anymore. We have the 5-minute MACD pointing to a reversal though. So I still am going to watch for a potential bounce back and a retest of this level, because this breakout could happen slowly. We look at the 4-hour. You can see we've gapped down below this level of support that I put right about here. And let's see if we ever had a gap down below. Let's see, what about... There was a time where... Okay, here. We traded down at this angle, and then when we broke out above it, there was a line here. When they broke out above that, that was your long. And then you would have held that for a couple of weeks. So we might wait for a bounce back. But we will see which way the market wants to go today. On the 5-minute though, again, I'm seeing a bit of a... Sorry, that might have been the 1 hour I was looking at. Yes, 1 hour shows we could see a reversal. But yeah, we're definitely slipping. This is your resistance level right here I'm seeing. Very nice, very nice. What was great was I was able to sell out of a lot of my put sides yesterday when we saw this run up a little bit in after hours to here. This made the puts drop a lot, so I actually closed out of a lot of the puts and then closed out of some calls later in the day. While I did re-enter some condors right here in this consolidation zone after this drop, I tried to get one on this area here. I am still holding some of those right now. So got about 5 minutes to open here. I need to start posting some more normal videos about indicators and such, as I think that will get a bit more publicity to the stream. I'm just concerned that the few people that watch it enjoy it. I just want the open to happen now. We got the open here in 5 minutes. We'll see which way the market wants to go, but again, we probably won't open any trades for at least the first half hour of the day. If anything, I'll start loading up on the bearish side. There's a lot of people that don't understand why they can't figure out the market, and sometimes it could be multiple things. It could just be that your current strategy you're using isn't working. Say you're trying to do something where you're waiting for just the MACD or not just the RSI, it doesn't line up, and that might frustrate you. There could be some big news catalyst that could have blown you out of your stops. Uh, the first few times you've tried it, that happened with me here with credit spread. So I actually switched to trying to day trade options on a cash account. Now I'm back to here because I realized this was better. Um, and then there's also the people that uh, they don't understand why they aren't winning, but they aren't trying to change the game plan at all. If you're not changing the game plan, that doesn't make you resilient, that makes you stupid. You need to adapt your strategy, figure out how to make it better instead of just trying the same thing over and over again, watching it not work and saying, "Oh, it'll work next time," and then use the rush of making money as drive to do it again. Because if you're losing consistently, but the times you win make you feel good enough to keep going, that's gambling. So I'm not here to do that. Market opens here in about 2 minutes. $7.45. Haynes donates more than 250,000 face masks to support Arkansas's emergency management. Good for them. Unfortunately, you might not see as big of bullish jumps from news like that because they're like, if anything, that hurts your business. And that's why we're invested in you for the sake of profitability. So they have slipped here. My entry price was up here. If you were day trading, you could have exited right there when they broke out of that wedge. That would have been about a 7-cent per share profit. But I'm going to hold it for a few days because I do like them on the 1 day as well. If we look at here, this 9-period SMA dropped down with them when they got beat down on earnings. Low RSI, MACD looking like it's about to cross below the 0 line. And then you had your first candle yesterday open above the 9-period SMA, although it was a gray one. I'm going to keep watching, and some of my targets are the 1440 level and the 1515 level, as that served as resistance for a very long time here in this area. Let's go back to the 5-minute, opening in about 1 minute, 40 seconds. OSB up 6% after M&A traders. Someone sold $200 million of MOO. I'm anxious to see how SPY wants to open here. With them being super, they weren't very volatile yesterday until close. And then you had that big drop at the end. It didn't really have news. It was just failing of a couple levels. So we'll see if we continue that today. See where we want to open here in about, let's see, 5 seconds. Yeah, okay. Here we go. We are now open. See which way we want to go. See which way the options are going to want to go. It looks like they're sitting at 0. So we've kind of, let's see. We closed out of the calls yesterday. 352, 351 put spread. For the 23rd, I'm thinking I should actually close out of that one. I would have to take that one as a loss, but it has doubled in value. I'm going to wait and see if we don't have a reversal that might bring that one down a bit in price. There's Slack. Down a few dollars here on open on some of our condors that have further out expirations. Drop here to start. Might need to get into our debit spread here in a while. HBI selling off. We're down to 13.30. Looking at the 1 hour. Our MACD lines are waiting down here. We could see a recovery here. Up to the 358 level is what I'm thinking. And then down. But you can't try to like restrict the market, hold it to where exactly you think it's going to go. We'll watch here. The call sides of some of our options are dying, which is good. And then we have some full out put spreads right now, which aren't really helping our volatility. This might be the place where we have to enter a SPY put spread. It might not be a great entry price, but I need to get one for December 4th, I believe I should do. If we break 354, then we're going down for a while. If I did that, we could buy a 350, 348 put spread for $52. So we could make up to 400% on that if they were below that by December 4th. Let me see if there's a way I can finance that by potentially selling some puts above the money. If we sold some calls up here. If we potentially sold the 360 call and bought the 361 call, it would end up being about $16 after your credit. We could go to an area where if we sell this, I'm trying to figure out what I could do here to because I think our breakout might start now. This might be it. Work going up. Good to bet on them for the change in market direction. Perhaps on a pullback we'll try to hit them. But if I'm taking $100 in collateral, then I could potentially pay let's see. Beyond added to the 1-day 9 SMA confirmation. Now the 350 put is $5 away, so it's trading at $400 for the December 4th expiration. $354 I think might be our break. See what the account's doing. Still over 500, but some of these spreads are really killing us. See if we can fill that spread at 25. I took a $10 credit, so it would be a $15 loss. But I'm selling that to free up some collateral to bet some stuff to the downside. We did get filled at 25. Good. So $15 loss on that one. That's the first loss I've taken in a few days. Every single trade I've had in the last few days has gone the way I wanted it, so not necessarily disappointed. Some money back up on some of these condors, so perhaps after some market volatility going down, we can start to get in on our debit spread. If we find 354 as a support for now, then it might not be time yet. Slack hitting new highs here. So today's going to be a shorter stream. I'm only going till 10. Could probably zoom in on SPY here so it's easier to see on a more pixelated screen here. About the 5-minute. What's a 5-minute showing? 5-minute showing a trend down. There's your rejection off of the 180 SMA there in pre-market. Alrighty, so we're back down to only $5 loss today, which is good. Good pullback here for SPY. This might be one of our last hurrahs to close out of some of the put sides here. I think I need to just close out some of these puts. What's a level I don't think we'll get to? With the 1 hour. And let's evaluate where some of my calls are. Some of my puts. I have some puts at 348, 350, 353 for this Friday. Oh, I only have a $50 wide put spread on this guy. I think that was an accident. Well, let's wait for some volatility to die down here on potentially a retest of the 180 MA up here. There's going to be some levels to test. 354.15, I think if we break that, we could just be down to the 354 level, and then we're gone. Slack would have been a good spread play, although I did not get in on that because I wasn't watching it. Kind of mad about that. That could have been an easy $20 right there. Off of 100, so 20%. So some of these spreads, while we are down a few dollars on them today, we're going to have to watch for what could be a debit spread play here for the next couple of weeks. If we break 354, are we going straight for 340? We could have 345 be the bottom of some that we could buy. We go to SPY here. Trade options for December 4th. If we were to sell the 345 put, but buy potentially 347, that's going to be a $41 credit that could turn into 200 if we do get a drop. $20 there could turn into 100, 40 could turn into that, 64. So if we move it down, go to 59, could turn into 200 if we broke 344. We could just go up to the 350 level, buy the 350 put, which is $5 away, but then sell potentially a 347. Where are we going to go where we can get, that's a potential 400% gain. There's a potential 400%. Very, very excited about this move. We're seeing it today. I am watching for a rebound, though, because MACD here on SPY. It is kind of weak, but we are having a similar correction that we did over here. We had a line cross try to happen here in after hours that failed. Now we're going to have a chance to try to beat it here in the open here. So what I'm going to do is I'll look at some of these condors. 363, let's see what the condor's worth on this guy. The calls are $3 apart. They're up at the 363 level. We're not going there. I'm going to hold that one because I would also have to close out on the puts to free up my collateral there. Just got to keep letting the market move right now. MACD's below the zero line, but once the line's to cross to the downside, so we're going to see if this is just a consolidation level, if we're going to have a little potential resistance level 35 here to the upside and 90 to the downside. It's kind of where the buyers and sellers are staying right now. So they're fighting over this little zone here. 50-cent wide zone, 45-cent wide zone. Roku, new highs up 5% after comments. OSB highs up 12% after M&A headlines say traders. Big white candle, not as much volume as normal. About the same as we had this candle, but this time we're going to shoot up right to the upside. Alrighty. And our account is back into the green for the day. So while we are going to benefit from no movement, we are actually a little bit bullish right now with the put spread that we sold that I actually took a loss with earlier. Goal for today is about 1%. We'll see if we can get a good spread in here with a good reversal. The longer we wait down to that 354 break. New high there, 355.50. Now we did have a bit higher than more normal volume here, about a quarter of a million shares, closer to 200,000 shares. But we did have more in this area here where we got a lot of wicks here after the white candle. There's another big white. There, that goes to the upside. This might be our time to close out on the put side. If we wait for potentially a 5-minute reversal, there's a line cross for SPY there. See if we can get up above that 180 SMA. This doesn't change the big picture. I'm still bearish, and I think we could see a big drop. Let's see if our Ally Invest account is going to show anything. Up a good amount on the long term, but that's with the delayed option strikes. I think those are kind of more bearish if we look at the strikes on these. The strikes on those 375, which we're making a ton on. We're up $63 on the 375 calls for December 21st. And then we bought the 380 calls, which are worth the same. It's kind of like the more higher frequency trading you have, it's almost like a higher resolution picture. You can get a crisper, cleaner looking picture in the same little canvas that anybody could draw on, but if it's got more pixels on it, then your higher resolution can look better on the same amount of space. Same as if you looked at a stock and said, okay, buy here, sell there on the 1 hour and you're good. That's one way to look at it. But if you zoomed into the 1 minute and say, oh, hey, you could have made a little bit right here just on a little move like this if you had indicators. This is an indicator right here where open up here, next candle open, MACD line crossing. The RSI was kind of high, so this wouldn't have been the best entry, but here it would have worked. Slack is just up like crazy on open. That would have made those calls crazy. I want to set up some more scanners, potentially Friday. I'm going to be busy the rest of this afternoon. That's why I'm ending the stream early. But I'd like to set up some more scanners or refine the ones that I have. I'm down a little bit on the Haynes trade, but not by a ton. It's not that high of liquidity with the amount of shares I have. I'm not going to lose more than $10, I don't think. I have a small share size. We could check out some earnings. Back to break even on the account today, up 1.16%. And let's see what we're up on. This Iron Condor, the 353 is 363. So the 353 puts are really close. And they expire on they expire tomorrow. Are we going to stay above 353? I don't want to cut it that close, so I'm actually going to close out of that one. 53, 352.5 put spread for the 20th. We're going to close out of that while we have a chance here. Those are the puts. If we were to sell this one, buy that one, it would be for about the same price that we entered it. I just want to take my break even now while I don't have as much confidence of it staying above that level. If anything, I'd want to roll that side down. That's $10 for a 50-cent wide spread. So really, it's more like $20 credit per 100. I'm liking the strong run we're seeing from SPY here to start the day. Bound for a cool off here in a second when you validate underneath this 9-period simple moving average. So we'll see how they interact with the 180 ME here on the 5-minute. Looking at some news here. See, I'm going to look at the earnings calendar here in a minute. So I'm going to watch for the next candle to close below this. See what we get there. See what reaction we get. Okay. This is going to be our last day where we can look at earnings because on Fridays we can't really play earnings through the weekend as easily. So that's not something I do. Since I do options on earnings, just sell some spreads on it. That spread for this Friday, I'm thinking I should wait on that one, the 50-cent wide one. Just watch it closely, because I don't have any indicators telling me that this should be the day that I sell it. Alrighty. If we go by options volume, Macy's is up there. Workday Class A, McAfee Corp, Children's Place, just TurboTax. Alrighty, don't see anything else. So we could look at Macy's was this morning. They've done theirs already. And then Intuit for TurboTax. They are later today. Let's look at INTU. Intuit. Oh, they are way too expensive. Let's look at what their options look like here on Intuit. Not some bad looking spreads, but it looks like if you wanted to play their earnings to the upside, you would need $500 wide strikes. Yeah, can't do that one. What did Macy's do? Type in Macy's and see if we get, what is Macy's? One's just an M. Look at that. After their earnings, they've done absolutely nothing. Very interesting. Yeah, no earnings then. And the only way we can check tomorrow's earnings is to go to the Market Watch calendar, earnings, and then check here on Friday morning, sort by before market. That's kind of weird. BKE, BNR, GASS, TLGT. That's kind of unspecified there. I don't see any. All right. No more earnings this week. I'll wait for some good ones. So the 1 minute MACD weakening, 5 minute. We're going to wait for that one to weaken before we close out any put sides. But I am ready to start closing out of those put ones here in a minute. I'm going to take a break real quick. I will be right back in a few minutes. And yeah, we'll look into potentially closing out some of the put trades if we see some of these indicators go in our favor. Alrighty, I will be right back. Alrighty, I'm back here. Looks like we are going back down. MACD, 5 minute looks around as well. I might want to close out of some of my put sides. I actually just did close out of one here. The one that was the $5 wide spread, I'm out of that. So that is now a call spread where we need them to stay below 363 by the end of tomorrow. That's going to happen. We have here a 350, 371 iron condor for next Wednesday. So they need to stay above 350 by then. I might want to close out that put side as well. The put side on there, I mean, the call side is worthless right now. All the money is on the put side. We could close out the 371, 372 call spread. I mean, we can close out this whole condor together if we deemed it too dangerous, because all the money is on the put side now since we're moving so close to it. I have no business really in the call side until I actually get the put side closed, because I'm not going to free up any collateral closing up just one side or just the other side. So I might have to wait on that. Looks like they want to turn around real quick. That would be nice if they want to maybe go test a 357 level. Then I can close out of a few more puts, but I have closed out of some. Even from the beginning, some of those puts I closed out of this morning have been for profits. The first one was for a loss, the one that was directional. They're going to run up real quick. I'm going to take this opportunity to go fill my water real quick. Could run to the upside here. That's going to make those options go down a little bit in value. Macy's turning around after their run up. Let's see what HBI is doing. I have a small share in them. Back up to 13.59 after their big sell off. That would have been a nice run to hit. I feel like they've done that a couple times here. You've had sell offs in the morning and then runs back up to new highs. This is kind of reminiscent of what we saw on Tuesday. You had a sell off, immediate run back up, and when you broke that level there, even though you traded down in after hours, you ended up running up, finishing up. Let's see how far that was on the day there. Started to open right about here, closed right about there, finished about 2.3% up on the day. So watch it closely. They are through that low that they hit, so we could see an upwards trend all day in Haynes, not sure. That's just an observation. It's not saying that it will happen. I'm still not a financial advisor, but I'm holding shares and I'm trying to be optimistic about stuff. I do think that could be a potential runner today. That credit spread we could have done at the money for Slack, that would have made a lot. Would be almost worthless now with this big run up you've had here to start the day. The MACD line's looking like they want to cross back to the downside for work. This would be a good time to exit a spread. All right, SPY coming back down. I'm going to let them test that low, but if they fail, then we're going to close out of some puts, I think. So up on those calls, this iron condor, we're down $2 on it because it's just the put side that's going up. 147, 127 is the price of the two puts at 350 and 349. 129 and 148 now, so it's gone back down in one. So we'll watch. If we break this new low, then yeah, I'm going to mark out a couple of things here. Watching for that level break, 356.60. If we don't get a break there, we could here in the next couple of seconds, but I do like this resistance level to the upside also as a breakout point. So we'll see which way it wants to go out. Could see a bounce back right back up. Could see a fail right here. We are 0.17% on the day, almost 0.2 now, and there's your fail down to the downside. It's going to trigger some sellers, and we'll see. There's also a chance this could be a downtrending channel. With that move, it's not. Nope. This is a bearish move now. So that move is going to shoot the price of the puts up. I'm not going to enter any big put spreads until SPY breaks the 354 level. I could create alert for SPY. SPY is at or below 354 even. SPY has broken key downside level. Alrighty, so that'll be mark 354. We create that. It's going to show it right there, so we can delete our red line. And remove this drawing. So we'll watch that. Only got 45 minutes left on stream today. It's pretty short. So halfway through. Watching some of these condors. This 343, 375 condors going down because the calls are losing their implied volatility. I like to close those out when they get to 0 if there's more than a couple of weeks left on them. But if I'm not closing out the put side at the same time, it doesn't make sense to do that. Haynes cooling off after a test of the 180 MA on the 5-minute. Work testing their 9 MA on the 5-minute. And then SPY rebounding after a new low there past that key level. Sorry, not new low, just a level break here. It was resistance earlier. Actually, no, this was the resistance line. So that's support. This line wasn't super important, but we did see a break through it. And now back up. If we see a break down below this level, I'm thinking that could be the time to enter the debit spreads. We'll watch how they're inside of this wedge here. Mini account still green. Long-term account. Our second mini is actually really green because we only had like a 370 something call spread up on that. That's just dying like crazy, making so much money by the day. Market value of the SPY condors. Okay. So that's the potential upside we have there. We could open a new spread for SPY on the long term. What's funny is this is where you would enter puts if you went by the line crossing the 1 hour. So I mean, watch it. It could see something back up to the upside today, but there's your validation. Watch closely to see if the next candle opens below. Kind of failing the 180 MA now. To break this new downside could be your, oh wow, it's a lot of volume. And our mini's back into kind of red territory. Let's see if we want to close out these puts. 350 puts for the 25th. I don't want those. I want out of those. For the 25th, puts. I'm going to sell that one. Buy that one. Sell this one, buy that one. So we're closing out both put sides of our spreads. For, let's try 36 to fill. And that'll basically close out two separate put spreads that we had to the downside. Not getting a fill. 38 perhaps. Probably 38 will get filled. Yeah. Okay, so we're out of those. So now we go look at the account, and we are down a couple dollars, but we turn everything into call spreads. Everything is now call spreads that we're up on. So we basically took our losses on the put side by a little bit ahead of this breakout that I think we can have to the downside, where you break through some of these key levels. You could be going down for a while. I do have one more set of put spreads that I am going to hold because they are down at the 343 level. And while they would go up in value, they expire. See, when do they expire? Let me look at them on the 1 hour. See, 343 is down here, the middle of this yellow line that I put. It's the middle of the channel they've been trading in. And that's for December 4th. It could be down there, but I'm not going to take every single position I have out. I want to have a bit of financing if I am wrong about this. So we'll watch that. Again, through day lows, I'm going to get some debit spreads to the downside. We can look again at those and see what we could get. We went to trade here. We go to SPY. Actually, let's look at charts real quick and see if we can pick out the date we would want. Because with certain time frames, we might want certain turnarounds. We want to kind of pin it, be really close, but not so close that we're not going to be able to realize all of the profit. To be safe, we could just go out a month. Liberty Media Chairman John Malone. CBC. I think we're seeing a currency devaluation, which will look and feel like inflation in housing. Try to diversify into hard assets. So we're down a couple bucks on the day now on the mini. Everything else is green. Trying to close out of some of these put spreads because this is the one where I want some money open to potentially play a put debit spread. So for the date, let's see, this is a little messy. Let's look at it on the 1 day instead. If we see the break here, this is an open below 355 level. So this could be our validation candle. See, in this move, it took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to close it out. So you could go out 15 to be safe there. Trying to think with another breakout. With this breakout here, you would have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10. We should just go out 3 weeks, I think, to get the whole move from a top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 to get the bottom. This is going to be one of the highest MACD line crossings we've had since here, and I wasn't really watching here, so this is going to be a really good one. So I think I'll go 3 weeks out. So yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking already. So if we go here, I'm going to go 15 days out. December 4th. We want to go by trading days, though. 1 day away. This one's 4. Yeah, so by trading days, we might want to go to the 11th, I think is what we want. That's a Friday. And let me look at the calendar, see how many trading days that gives us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, if you count Hanukkah, which we'll be open for. So I think December 11th is the date that we're going to do. I want to get some good price put spreads here. Look at that breakdown. That's going to make our calls go up. Staying a bit red because of the increase in implied volatility on the one put spread we still have. Not to mention that the calls, most of which are already dead. That one's at 1, so we can close this one. Free up some collateral there. Paying a debit. See if we get filled, and no fill. So place the order. Try to get it at 2. We'll pay an extra $1 to close out of that, so now we have that extra money there. This call spread is down to $2, and that's for the 25th. I'll put in an order to close that one at 2. If we get that filled, we'll take our profits. We do. We are filled. So now we're down $2 on the day, but we have about $300 of capital to use on something. That condor is going to make some. Alrighty. So let's have a look at the December 11th expiration. December 11th expiration is 3 weeks or 22 days from expiration, and hopefully that can get an entire move that we might get from a breakout here. We want to do a debit spread, and then what is our end point? Where do we think we can get down to? Well, these last few times we've gone down all the way to the 330 level. What's a 330 put on December 11th? Just for comparison, I'm probably not going to go all the way down there. A $330 put is $1.70, while a 331 put is $1.79. So a 10-cent difference there. But if we blew through that, we'd make 1,000%. I think I want to do something that's a little bit less upside, but higher probability. For instance, this line here is a 343, perhaps 340. Could be a level that we'll get to. A previous key level right here is 342. We could do 350 and then 345. Don't want to do anything dumb. But we are down to the 354.87 level now. One-hour MACD, are we reversing there? Not sure what I want to do here. Again, what were my options for? Here, 330 is my bottom. Okay, they're not going to 330. I do have a 325 put, but I used it to offset selling a 330. 350 put is 492. 349 put is 466. So 28 cents. You could make a potential of $62 over the course of that time, which would be percent of the full account with just $27 tied up. We could buy a couple of those. Well, perhaps we'll just do one. Do want to wait, though, a bit longer here. S&P futures market low 354, 225 quickly rebound to back over 35.50. Yes, we're back over 355. Yep. 354 though, that fail is going to be big. Boeing red. At the end of December 11th, are we going to be above that area? It's maybe we want just to play a snappy drop over a few off of highs. Potentially just get into a 350 spread for earlier. If we did next Friday, we buy a 350 put, sell a 349 put. Difference is $23. 23 is about 5% of the tiny account. And then the upside on that is 400%. I'm wondering. Kind of had some clean breaks below and above the 9-period SMA here, except for that one right there that was kind of muted. It's a clean break. Let's just fill it. 23. We'll try it. 23 bucks could make it 100. It's not filling at 23. I'll just forget it for now. I wanted to be filled there, but I can't, so. Give me some money there. The SPY Condor is making money on the call side, but the put side is up 15. 343 is your downside. I think I'm not going to do anything until I see the 354 break. Then I'll get in on a debit. Right now, MACD reversal on the 1 minute. The 5 minute says. Let's pull it up on all here. Let's do the 1 day. For not HBI, but let's do SPY. I have confidence in HBI. I'm just going to let them go. We have the 1 hour here we could put. The 5 minute. We'll change that one to SPY as well. Watch this wedge pattern. They did break down below this, so we'll see if that is that a key support level? Not really seeing anything other than it being a little bit of a resistance. No, I mean that's support there. They broke that support for a minute, so kind of in limbo right now. These condors are going to make a bit of money here during this decrease in volatility while they're down. But a break below 354, and I think I would short. Are having a break above that line now, which is good. Could be a large head and shoulders pattern, so be careful. Alrighty, well, I'm going to have to wrap up the stream here because I have to get ready to do some stuff today. Yeah, I'm now officially bearish on SPY, holding all of my call spreads that I'm selling. I actually might enter a couple more if I see a good 1 minute reversal. Something like this might have been good, but oh well, we'll keep watching SPY here. Holding some Hanes. I'm going to hold them for a while. And yeah, we'll see how that stuff looks tomorrow. Alright, if you're watching today, thanks for watching. I'll be back this time, same time tomorrow. And I think I'll be going till about the same time tomorrow. Alrighty, I will see you guys next time.